Hi, I'm Xavier, Director of Super Consumers Australia. And today I want to talk to you about retirement planning. Now, as the Retirement Income Review found, people really struggle with decisions around this, and it's leading to some suboptimal outcomes. People aren't efficiently drawing down on their savings, and some people are retiring and living with lower living standards than they should be. This really mirrored the results of our research that we did last year when we talked to 10,000 consumers about how they were dealing with their retirement planning decisions. Now, people were confused, they found a lot of complexity, and they really struggled with those decisions. And there were some real horror stories about having to deal with different government departments in order to plan for retirement. So what are we going to do about it? Now, depending on who you ask, there's a really different response. Some people will really point to the need for more affordable, better quality financial advice. Others will say, we need better products. We need to direct people via defaults into those products and make sure that they're protected. And then the final group is really around improving financial literacy, connecting people with the really good quality resources so that they can make those decisions for themselves. Now, interestingly, we've got a piece of research that is about to be launched, which shows that, broadly speaking, there are three groups of people that require really different policy outcomes. Our research found that around 25% of people they were engaged with their finances, but they wanted some assistance from experts in helping plan for retirement. So they were more than happy to seek out the services of financial advisors or be guided by the defaults in the system. Now, a huge group, unsurprisingly, 38% of people in our research were really disengaged around retirement planning. So if they're going to get good outcomes, we really need to make sure that the default system is working well for them. And then finally, 37% of people, these are the DIY engaged. They're really interested in financial decision making. They want to make the decisions themselves. They want to spend the time and do the research and find independent information to plan the best for their retirement outcomes. So depending on the group, there are some really different mix of policy solutions that we need. There are also some problems. At the moment, a lot of the focus is on how we can get more affordable financial advice to people. Now, that's a problem because at the moment there's a huge trust issue with financial advice, which also needs to be overcome. It's not just a cost issue. And if you look at the countless surveys from ASIC, you would find that people, by and large, don't think financial advisors are putting the client's interest ahead of the financial advisor. Or if you look at the case studies of the financial advice being provided, at best, when it comes to superannuation funds, about half the advice is in breach of the law, according to the most recent ASIC study, including in breach of the best financial interest duty. So this isn't a great outcome for people looking to go for financial advice. There's also a huge gap between the costs that it currently costs to provide financial advice and what people are willing to pay. People are willing to pay a few $100s, and financial advice costs a few $1,000s. So we won't be able to bridge that gap by simply removing a little bit of the regulation that's currently exists in that space. And at the same time, we risk potentially doing away with important consumer protections. So there's a real risk going down that path. Instead, we think that the focus should really be on how do we provide better information to people so that they can make their own decisions. There's a big group of people out there we know that really want and crave that type of information. If you look at the UK example, they've tried to solve this by creating an arm's length body from government that's independent, that can provide financial advice around key decisions that people will be looking to make. So things like, what retirement product should I be going into? What do my longevity outcomes look like? And they're really directed to these resources as well. Again, in the UK, they've trialled what's called a retirement wake-up pack, which led to a 10-fold increase in the take-up of retirement planning resources, which is huge. These kind of resources just don't exist in a really consistent way in Australia. They exist across a range of different departments across superannuation funds. So there's a real need to develop a one-stop shop that superannuation funds, government, financial counsellors, financial advisors, and people that talk on financial issues can really direct people to a trustworthy source of information to help them make better retirement planning decisions. Look, if we don't take these steps, the Retirement Income Review has showed us what the outcome will be. people living with a lower retirement standard than they would need to, and people grappling with extreme complexity. This isn't good enough and we can do better. Thanks for listening and enjoy the rest of the day.